What's up, everybody? This is TeaRon here. You are listening to another episode of the Ubiquitous Blacks podcast. And as you know, I am your host. I am me. That is TeaRon, TeaRon, period. And we have something special in store for you here today. And it's been a while. I took a break because I was waiting on my stimulus to come through. Or as you say, I'm sorry, the multiple of stimulus, my stimuli. I had to wait on the 600 and the 1400 so I could get back on track and get back to recording again. As you hear this today, it is April the 1st. And I'm almost fooling myself that I was able to even get who I got here today with me. This is going to be fun, y'all, because this particular person is someone I adore so much, someone I've had spent little time with. But you know, when you meet somebody, you walk up and you like speak, and it's like, oh, you and that doesn't happen with me all the time. It doesn't happen, but it happened with this person I have here with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get to know Miss Tamika Peoples. Tamika, introduce yourself and let the people know about you.
Hello, world. I'm out here. So, yes, as TeaRon expressed, we met and there was all kinds of shenanery and sparks flying. And so that's what happened. We connected on the shenanery. And I did create that word. It's not in the dictionary, but I'm creating my own dictionary. You're welcome. So my name is Tamika Peoples. That's my government name. My artist name is TJ Peoples. And I am...
Spell it for the peoples.
It's TEE space JAY. And then Peoples. PEOPLES. You know, like I'm your peoples. But yeah, so I met this fantastic gentleman on tour. I sing background for Macy Gray, and I have been singing background for many, many artists for many, many years. And now I'm in the space where I am tapping into TV and commercial, and I am working on my own album as well. The pandemic has set that situation up for me to finally stop putting it off and, you know, share what I have to share with the world. And so I'm so grateful to this young man for wanting to share my story with you guys.
Yes,
right?
And share with me too, because with how we met, I mean, it's work, right? So you could only connect so much because you know things are going on, and so you really just having the shenanery happen
Yeah.
that you don't get to connect. And I'm just like, there's so much more to Tamika than I know, and so I just want to dive into that today. I want to share some time with you. And you said that's an excuse for us to catch up. But I was going to tell you before we started recording about how funny shit is. And it's April Fool's Day, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to tell you about this. Well, I don't know when y'all going to be hearing this, but I know today is April Fool's Day. So on today, I got up and I'm getting to be older now, right? So I take enjoyment in doing certain things like buying cleaning products for the house, staying stocked up on toilet tissue,
tissue,
tissue, mm-hmm.
Amen.
And you know things of that nature. So I went out this morning and I got up pretty early, and I'll tell you this: I wasn't going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you now. I actually got up because I got the times messed up for when we were recording.
What?
So you know, okay, so you know, right now you're on the West Coast, so you know there's that 3-hour difference between us, right?
Right.
I was correct in that, but I flipped it around. So I actually got up and then I was on the computer.
Whoa.
And I was like, well shit, what? I was probably 20 minutes into setting up before I realized, wait, she said noon. And that means, oh, I got it. So I was up at like my 9, which is your like 6.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
That's okay, because I turned it around and I went out and I started to go buy cleaning products and stuff. And I get so excited nowadays when they got Lysol and shit in stock because, you know, that's hard to come by. And
oh my God.
would you know it? April Fools, the weather was like, oh, you thought it was spring. It was like snow flurries outside. What joke is that? That's not funny to me.
Wait, it's funny to me. You know why? Because I don't have any snow and I'm having a wonderful, sunny, beautiful. What is today? Wednesday?
I don't know. Thursday.
See? Either way, it's beautiful. That's how beautiful my life has been. I don't even know what damn day it is, huh? I will continue to live my life that way.
Hey, speaking of, have you ever actually done an April Fool's prank on anybody, or has anyone ever gotten you with like something like that's not common? Not like, I put salt in your water, April Fool's, something like, or have you heard of anything before where somebody just did some fuck shit?
Some fuck shit. I don't remember playing any April Fool's pranks on anybody. And I don't really know of any intense April Fool's fuckery. However, I will say, so I am staying with my tribe right now. My first cousins, and my cousin Ricky has 2 beautiful children. And they're my cousins, obviously, but they're my niece and nephew.
That's black people stuff. That's black people shit. If you have a cousin that is significantly older than you, that's your auntie or your uncle.
Absolutely,
that's black people stuff.
Yeah. Why? There's something off about that. Having a way about older calling cousin? Calling them little cousin. I don't know.
Yeah. But, if I got 15 years on you,
then I'm your auntie, huh? And I'm gonna need you to say it out loud. It's respectful. Anyway, so my little cousin / nephew, Shia, he is a prankster, and he's just so full of energy and very loving, super affectionate. But he has been talking about April Fool's Day since, I don't even know. It's been a couple of weeks. It's almost time. He's letting us know, I'm going to get you. I'm going to prank you. I'm going to get you. So we had to set these parameters. Like, all right, so here's the rule. You cannot fool people with things that you didn't purchase, like no wasting food or pouring liquids on people that you didn't buy. Also, don't pour liquids on us because we're Black women and we don't like water being poured on us for no damn reason. So we had a whole meeting about this, and he was like, okay, I got it. Me and his mom, right? He's like, yes, mommy. Yes, auntie. Okay, I got it. So we talked about the parameters of his jokes, because he'll take you there, right?
Oh my gosh.
So this morning I got up to open my computer to begin to do some of the adulting that I needed to do. And my sweet baby taped the computer shut. I'm talking about
that's a good one.
I said, you got me, Lil G. He taped all the way around it too. I was opening like it was a FedEx package. Right?
That's a good one.
So that's the most recent prank that's been played on me. And I had to let him know. I was like, all right, Shia, you got me. This is a good one. I like it. He also taped his sister's computer shut, and she didn't love that so much. So yes, that's all I got for April Fool's. It's very gentle, not that great, not that intense.
Yeah. See, the kind of kid I was, I would have never thought of any, because I like that one. That's clever. Because, when you get up and you try to open your computer, you ain't thinking about it. You just, lifting it.
Right.
So just imagine how that messes up. Like you get your arms ready to just lightly lift, and you might slip and fall, but I like the more diabolical stuff, like, cellophane on top of the toilet,
Ooh, that's rude. That is so rude. Ooh, I don't know that. I don't know that we don't play. Let me tell you something. While my heart is pure and full of love and emotion, that type of shit will pull the little demon out of me. So I have a little petty bitch that lives at the bottom of my soul. Her name is Barbara. I've given her a name. All of those close to me know who Barbara is because every now and then she'll make an appearance. Barbara would be running rampant in these streets if somebody put cellophane and I pissed all over my own life and the bathroom. That's not okay.
Because you got to clean it up and it goes back up to you.
Listen, I'm not cleaning it up. Whoever put this on here, get in here, bring the tools and clean up this piss.
There's one thing I do like. I can cuss like a sailor. It just comes to me naturally, right? It tastes good to me. I like it. And sometimes it's necessary. But
it's freeing.
I try to avoid the G word. It's just one I don't know. I just don't do that one.
What's the G word?
Can't even tell you, see?
Oh, can you oh if
it's the Lord's name in vain.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you meant, but I just wasn't 100% sure. Okay. That's a loaded word. That's a loaded word though, because of spirituality and because of
Yeah.
It's
so I try not to do that, right? Mm-hmm. If I got up in the morning, because you know how a morning piss is the one, right? A morning piss and then a drunk piss. But a morning piss, you get up and you trying to balance. You're trying to get your release and going about your day. So the force that if somebody did that, that's when I probably wouldn't mess up and use it because somebody getting it at that point.
Oh, you mean if the cellophane was there when you were having that morning revelation, and then you piss differently than those of us that have vaginas. And
yeah, so I might have a chance.
It might have a chance. Your face.
Well, yeah, depending on the angle.
That's what I'm saying. You could get piss in your nose, in your eyeballs, in your teeth. Who wants piss in their teeth?
How that burns?
That sounds treacherous. I think we should change the subject.
I don't even know how we got that far into it.
It's because it's you.
Let's talk about when we met. I'm gonna give you the layout for what it was from my POV, and then you tell me what happened. So,
please do, because you never told me this story, so I want to know.
Okay, so it was summer 2019, which feels like forever ago, but that's when the European tour was happening. Right. And so you were singing back up with Macy, and I came in the second week or so of it. I think. Mm-hmm. But I came in on the back end, and that's when everyone was in. Where were we? Was that Rotterdam? No, that's where we caught the train from. We were in Holland.
Don't ask me.
Doesn't matter. Well, I can tell you the event. We were doing the North Sea Jazz Festival, and it's a huge event. It's packed, right? It's an annual thing. Yeah. Acts from around the globe always perform there. I think Macy's performed there several times, but I came in straight from my flight to the hotel. So when I got in, everybody had already gone ahead, right? So I had to wait either for the shuttle or they were going to have to find me a car to go from Amsterdam. That's where, from the Amsterdam airport.
That sounds about right.
Right. And then the ride is like, basically, it felt like an hour to me to get there, but I was traveling in alone. So I came in full luggage, not having to get the hotel or anything.
You did.
And everybody only knew me at that point because they either heard this other guy is going to be here or there's the group chat, right?
Yeah, Macy told us. She told us you were coming.
So I came there and I was just kind of saying hey to everyone. And I seen you, and I think you were probably doing your makeup or something at that point.
I probably was. If you came right before the show, I was definitely doing my makeup.
And so I just remember walking up. I didn't say hey. It wasn't like hey. I was probably like, hey, what's up? I'm TeaRon, whatever. And then you said something back, and then at that moment, the response was like natural. I can't remember the exact words, but I just remember it being like.
It was probably some foolery because I don't know how to behave in
because when you on the road, there's a group of people but everybody has like their road buddy on these different tours. So you end up clicking with whoever. And I just knew as soon as you was like, whatever you said, I was like, oh snap. Yeah, that's
it's gonna be hard.
And I remember, and that's what because I was asking you introduce yourself, and I was like, oh, well, where's the other girl? And everybody was like, she left the tour already, and it was just yourself finishing it up. And then that's kind of the first conversation we had. But then I had to like go ahead and, like I said, straight off the flight with all my luggage, I had to go ahead and assemble my camera and shit right away.
Right. You was on top of things. You was on top of things. Yeah.
And I don't know, it just ended up being such a good time. One of the better times that I've had being around a bunch of strangers.
Because I don't like being around a bunch of strangers.
What was it like for you though? Because I know that I'm loud. I kind of do a thing when I walk into a space.
Listen, and your laugh is like, oh, he's here. But you have one of those laughs, when somebody laughs and it's infectious. It's so powerful, just the laugh itself, that you kind of end up laughing too, just because that person is laughing.
Yes.
That was my experience with you. I was like, oh, if he's going to be laughing like this is going to take me out this entire tour.
Like he's got no home training.
Oh, it was the best. Yeah, it's the best. And I tend to kind of keep my distance from people who have too much home training, because there's something suspect about that.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta be able to be your natural self, especially in situations like that, because you're not home. You don't really know, everyone. So it's best to be as authentic as you can in the moment, because I think that keeps you leveled throughout how intense things can get sometimes,
I agree. And not necessarily, obviously, when it comes to the home training, we want to make sure that we are not harmful to other people. We want to make sure that we are peaceful beings. But if you're somebody who laughs loudly, laugh loudly, no matter who's around. If you're somebody who is just naturally loving and affectionate, or you like to, of course, when it comes to the affection, you need to make sure, 60, you need to make sure that whoever you are touching or what have you is okay with that. Obviously, respect people, respect humans, respect their boundaries. But as far as you just being whatever soul you are, I believe that that shouldn't change from person to person.
Right. And that's one thing, like for me, going back and forth, doing stuff in LA, being in Atlanta, going all these different places and working and stuff. I've always been myself. I can't Hollywood. I can't put on a Hollywood persona. Like, I suck at it. But also I think that is one of the things that helps a lot too, is that I'm in and out, right? So when I go to do stuff, I meet people, and this is what you get. And I think it's refreshing to a lot of people who are in the thick of it all the time. Because you know how people can be. They put on those personas, or they put on what they want to be perceived. So
Absolutely.
you never get to read them, So when I come in, I'm just like, you get in this country.
This is what it is, baby. I'm here.
And it helps because it sticks, and that's what people are like, who's that? And they remember, my name is TeaRon. So
Your name is TeaRon. You stand out. Your name is TeaRon.
I always tell people, Tamika, with my name, growing up in hood, you go outside and you get into trouble and you do shit, right? And for me, just simply as that, right? But no, for me, the kids will tell on you if you go and do stuff. Like, I used to get in trouble. Like, we was bad. Like, we used to.
I believe you were bad. I sense a little that energy in your soul.
You remember back in the day when we was growing up, they still had the fully like aluminum slides. Remember those? And if it was a really hot summer day, your
skin would end up on the slide. Mm-hmm.
So we used to do stuff. Little boys being bad. We used to pee down the slide and let somebody go and slide.
I'm sorry, what did you just say to me?
We used to pee down the slide and then let somebody go and laugh when we go down the slide, right? You know,
That
something
would
like
get
that.
your teeth kicked down.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, right? So look, so the kids would tell, you know, when we got into stuff, they would tell, and they'd be like, you know, they go, you know, back in the day, everybody lived so close, and you know, you knock on so and so's door, even if it ain't your mama, everybody knows each other, right? That's how it was.
Oh my
So
God.
you bang on the door, they tell. So it was always like, TeaRon did this, and it's and in a situation like that, never which one. TeaRon who? So and so's daughter.
No, you don't ever have to
TeaRon.
ask. I know who it
You
is.
have to ask. So it ain't James, you know.
That's my little brother's name. That's my youngest brother's name.
It ain't all them because you got to ask a few questions to figure out which. But
TeaRon
is direct. So all I did was get really clever. I never stopped being bad. I just got really crafty.
Oh, I want to have a really quick conversation with you, because I know we have so many things to talk about.
Yes.
TeaRon, why are you pissing on people? Now, see, I know that you were young, but that's nasty.
We didn't think about that.
You should.
6.
You should.
But I didn't. But we didn't think of it as pissing on directly on someone. We thought of
but
it
if
as
they
like,
slid down it, the piss would be on them.
it wasn't just my own piss.
Oh, you and
here
your
we are
friends
talking about piss again.
This is why I didn't want to be on the phone with you. And we got to have this conversation in front of people. This is a mess. You owe me an apology.
Let's talk about your gift. Because,
okay.
Again, and that's how we met. A lot of people, this background singer game, especially if you're in the realm of R&B, gospel, not taking away from any other genres of music, but when you are in the realm of good Black music,
come on,
you got to bring it. And a lot of people are dismissive of what goes into singing backup. But that is a hell of a skill. You gotta get everything right. You gotta be as consistent as possible. You gotta do it again. And sometimes even longer, because, you know, some performers you work with, they'll have that break in their set where they're going to change.
Absolutely.
And they let you do your thing.
The pressure.
So you are pushing all the time. When I tell y'all, the whole time we were on the road together, I never once, now I just personally didn't see it. Tamika didn't see me put on deodorant this morning, but I did. I promise. But I never seen Tamika once, like, warming up. I never seen her lip roll. I never seen.
Well, don't tell people that, because that's supposed to be the thing. I'm supposed to say that I warm up. I do warm up, guys.
I never seen it. She could have been doing it in her room or something, you know. But I personally never seen it. So we would be, you know how, like, okay, you know, some performers, especially when they know, like, I got to hold back a little bit. So you talk low or you'll rest your voice for a bit. Tamika was hollering and hooting to keep up with me the whole tour. And then would go out and sing her face off. I mean, oh my goodness. Tamika, just share with the people what it is about your gift. Talk to them about what really goes into honestly being a backup singer. Like you said, you've sung with several artists, but singing backup is no joke. It's not something that people should be so dismissive of or so like, oh, that's just a part of the band. Because that is killer. How did you get to that point?
Well, so my father is a singer. He is an animal, just amazing. And he noticed that I was able to sing, you know, at a very young age for me. And he encouraged me, okay, let's not use the political terms. He made me, you gonna get something you gonna sing at church. I'm sorry, what, Dad? Oh, you gonna sing at church next Sunday? Okay. So, he was the minister of music. My grandfather was a pastor, so my dad was the minister of music at both of the churches that my grandfather was at, you know, when I was young. So of course he got me in the choir, and that's one thing, you know, singing in the choir and singing with other people, you know, singing, incorporating your voice into a sound that has other voices involved. Now, choir is one thing because the blend doesn't really have to be that specific when it's several people versus 3 individuals.
Right.
But so that's what I started singing in church because of my dad. My dad ended up later on going down the line in my life. By the time I was in middle school, I ended up singing with the Temptations. And
oh wow.
That's my dad used to sing.
That's incredible.
He used to sing with the Temptations, and he was with that group for a few years and ended up singing lead for the Temptations. And whatever happened with that situation, they parted ways, but the Temptations and the Four Tops used to go on tour together all the time. So my dad had a relationship with the Four Tops as well. So when the Four Tops needed someone, it happened to be at the perfect time and the alignment was epic. My dad was leaving the Temptations and the Four Tops were like, well, can you come sing with us? So he also ended up singing with the Four Tops.
And for the kids that don't know nothing about the Four Tops, first of all, do your research. But the Four Tops, when I hear the Four Tops, it's synonymous with vocal harmony, like precision. So that means your daddy's a singer with an A.
Honey, daddy, Theo Peoples don't play. He sings, but he also plays keys and he played saxophone. So whenever he was singing with the Temptations, they would do "I Will Always Love You." So my dad would sing "I Will Always Love You" and perform the sax solo that was in the song, and then go back to singing this. I'm talking about this man is
breath control.
Not even kidding. So
wow,
he ended up with the Four Tops, and then of course Levi Stubbs' health, became compromised, and so my dad started singing lead for the Four Tops as well, and he was there, until Levi passed. He went to his funeral and everything. I absolutely, that's one of my favorite things about my dad, because I love me some Levi Stubbs. Like, I don't know if you all are familiar with Little Shop of Horror, but Levi Stubbs was the voice of the plant of Audrey.
Oh,
Audrey too.
I never knew that.
Oh my gosh. And so I'm like, Levi is like grandpa to me, he's fam. Anyway, all that's neither here nor there. That's how I ended up. I was, what's the word? I had access to that kind of brilliance and that kind of talent and that type of consistency and those artists that paved the way. And so my dad was really, really specific with me. My dad taught me everything that I know about an ear for harmony, about just music in general. And then I went to performing arts, middle school. I got accepted to. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, right?
I'm so jealous. So you grew up just down the street from me. I wanted to go to performance arts high school, and
that's all right. It's all right. Because listen, you out here being a performing artist now. Who cares?
Before you go into performing arts school, it made me think. There was a show that came up. It wasn't in Europe or anything. It was for here, but you weren't on that particular show. So I went to the show just to enjoy it. I wasn't doing anything that day. I was like, oh wait, Tamika's not here. So it's just the guys, the band and stuff. And I was like, oh, Tamika's not here. I said, I'll do Tamika's stuff.
Oh, what? Did you sound check with them?
No. I was just playing around.
I was going to say that would have been epic. I need footage.
I probably could have got away with it until until that Trouble the Water mix came through. I wasn't going to be able to do it.
Don't trouble the water. I hate you with all the love in my heart. I hate you.
But I do the set, and I was like, oh, Tamika's like, I can do that. But no, I was just playing at the time.
I'm glad that you didn't. I'm so glad you decided to opt out.
Yeah. I could only do what I would have done, and it wouldn't have been nothing like what you could do. But it just popped into my head just there. I meant to text you about it, but yeah, I was so trying to do your part.
I would actually have loved to see that. I'm just saying. But yeah, so as far as background singing, that's the question. How do we start these conversations? And I always end up so far in the forest, way far away
you
from.
You were saying that you were able to be around for experiencing that, and then you end up going to performing art school. That's why I stopped you. I'm sorry. Let me shut up,
that's
y'all.
good.
5 minutes of silence from me.
You don't need to be silent. This is good stuff. Okay. So yes, I went to, and what's crazy about that, my parents told me this just recently. I didn't know that I was a part of a lottery, and my name, I only got into that school because my name was pulled. Like,
oh wow.
Right? I was like, Mom, how come you never told me this? And when I think about that now, I think about my path in life, and I think about my journey, and I think about how I'm looking at everything manifesting before me, and I'm looking at the alignment and the timing of everything. And when I think back about that, it makes me appreciative of the space that I'm in and my life, because everything is ordained, and the timing and the alignment. I have always been meant to win. It's never been meant for me not to win. So even if I think back about times when I didn't know anything about vibrations and about choosing our focus and about the law of attraction, the universe was still on my side anyway. The creator, God, was still on my side the whole time. And so the fact that I was in middle school, a performing arts middle school, where I had access to, this is where I started playing instruments. I played violin for a year. I played clarinet for 5 years. And I sang in a jazz show choir, which is one of the next steps after my father, that I was able to begin to develop my ear more and, harmonizing and all that kind of stuff. So yes, as far as background singing and that skill, listen, when someone has a beautiful voice and they're able to sing just on their own, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. The difference in that and background singing is when you're singing lead and you are just commanding the song and the microphone and it's just you don't have to think about anybody else that is joining in on the process, right? You can sing, you can do whatever you want with your voice. Your placement doesn't matter. Whatever sounds good, you just figure it out and you just do it, right? So where the background singing, where that skill set comes in, and what separates that from singing lead is that as a background singer, you are singing with, majority of the time, it's usually 3 people on stage, sometimes more, sometimes less. But when you and 2 other people are now having to sing something, and there's no other voices to distract, it's not a choir, so even that you have a little bit of leeway. But when you are singing with just 2 other people, you now have to pay attention to their voice, where they're singing from, because we have resonations in different places based on, mm-hmm. the type of singer that you are and your personal ability. So there's head voice, there's
I
chest
have 0
voice,
head voice.
There's, do you want to work on that? Because I got you. Do you have any voice? I feel like you have. Okay. So I'm not even going to go.
We'll do something.
Okay, we'll dive into that. But so as a background singer, the best ones and the ones that get hired for the most gigs and the ones that are the most celebrated are the ones that can sound like anybody. And who can sing with, it doesn't matter who is beside them, to the left of them, to the right of them. When you're singing background, the goal is to blend, right? But your own voice shouldn't stand out so much so that somebody can notice, oh, that's Tamika singing that part. If you're an incredible background singer, no one will be able to tell which part you're singing, because your ability to blend with the other two people on stage with you will be so fire that no one will be able to tell anything. And so that's where that skill set comes in. You have to listen while you're singing. You have to listen and match. And it's a constant thing. If you're listening and you're singing background with someone and you notice that they have a little bit of rasp in their tone, even down to the way that they pronounce their words. Pronunciation is also a thing that I feel like sometimes background singers can miss. You need to make sure you're pronouncing your words the same way, rounding, your consonants or everything. The more cohesive you are with those things, the better that the performance as a background group will be. These are the kinds of things that make people say, your background singers are lit. And of course, people that have an untrained ear don't know exactly why those background singers are better than anybody else's. But these are the things that make that so. The ability to blend, the ability to listen, the ability to match. Oh, she's singing this here. And when I'm singing my note in the place that I'm singing from, it's not matching where she's singing from. So I can go ahead and dip in and change where I'm singing from. So like it's like a constant, it's like being like this all the time.
Yeah.
And also not making it look like that's what's happening.
Yeah. And then there's, there's the show aspect,
That,
Cause
yes.
a lot of times when you're doing backup, you're also doing a bit of choreography, some more than others,
Yeah.
So the intensity of that, I've even seen, like there's shows where the backup will be there, and then there's a part of the show that they come out to the front and there's a whole number,
Yes.
and the whole time they're still delivering. And I just think I've always been interested in it because I know some of the most wonderful singers have done backup for other people. So I've always been interested in that aspect, somebody like Kelly Price, right? Phenomenal singer.
She is an animal. Kelly Price is like, she's amazing.
It's bananas to me. Another person who I just adore, I don't know if you have crossed paths with yet, but she sings with Lettucey. Her name is Sarah Williams. Do you know who that is?
I don't, but okay. I definitely will check her out.
You got it. Sarah is, first of all, she lies about her age all the time, and if she listens to this,
guess what? I'm gonna be doing the same thing, lying about my age.
She had a birthday recently. I was like, "You're lying, whatever." She was like, "My knees ain't lying," but no, she is to me. Someone like an artist like Lettucey, right? I've watched Lettucey since I was like in the 9th grade or something. And I was just like, who is this woman? I was like pushing. I was always so proud to see her growth and everything, and her finally getting to that point that she got a Grammy. But, you watch an artist long enough, you get to know who's singing with them or who you see around regularly and stuff. And Sarah Williams is one of these people who, to me, is like this walking masterclass where they did what's the thing where the tiny desk. Right?
Oh, yes. I love those.
We've got to look up Lettucey's Tiny Desk. That the girl singing with her and Sarah Williams. Sarah is sitting in the seat chilling.
It's probably singing her life and singing everybody into the sun.
Lettucey. And I'm like, this is crazy. And so for people don't really realize how much of an instrument these backup singers are having to play. And I got to like really receive that watching you night after night. So that was always fun for me.
Thank you.
And I was like, she is going off right now.
Oh, listen, I just be trying to have a good time. You know what? Those moments, my performance changed by the time I started singing background with Macy, because my ability to tap in changed. Yeah. So now whenever I sing, there's an experience that I'm having void of anybody in the audience. It's an experience between me and the creator. it's an experience between my soul and my human side. It's like there's a checkout now that happens where I'm just, they're downloads. You know, my vocal choices and just the feeling of what's coming out of me is straight up downloads straight from the creator. And it's so different. It's so different in the best way. And that came after I started meditating and really understanding the importance of tuning in and really tuning into the spirituality to every part of me and not just the talent, not just the voice, because the vocal ability is one thing, but what separates artists from singers and what separates an experience from a performance is the ability to tap in or not.
Yeah.
Because I know people who can sing really well and I've seen them perform, but it's a performance. And it's not, it looks very different than someone who is tapped in and who is pouring out from the heavens, who is allowing themselves to be a vessel of a heavenly pour. Ooh, that's, I'm going to go ahead and write that in my notebook.
I call them DTMs.
DTMs. Mm-hmm. Elaborate, please. Elaborate.
Doing too much.
Oh.
Doing too much. Because it's like just because you can doesn't mean you do it right here.
I agree with that 100%.
And that's the most, like if I go to see a show and someone is doing that, that is the most it takes you out of it. For me, anyway.
I agree. Same for me.
As a creative person, I kind of watch stuff differently. So I'm like zoned in on a person that may think they're in the background somewhere. I'm like, damn, he's tearing those drums up, or damn, that's me, right? So that takes me out of it. I'm like, why are you doing that? It didn't go there, you know? And I think that's like a lot of singers from like the jazz and blues eras of music. That was a big thing, was like the way you pronounce things, your interpretation of, you know, where you're going to interject a certain tone or building to like an actual crescendo versus you starting out.
Don't give me all of your stuff. And then where are we going after that?
Yeah. So it's like, you put out all the stops and you still own just amazing. We ain't even got to Grace yet.
I'm over you. And I'm going to say that very matter of fact. And then you're going to take me there. All right. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. What are some of your highlights singing back up? Of course, you know, there's traveling, there's meeting of amazing people. For me, it's the food.
Yes, foodie.
I love a food, and you know, people like I don't know if you told me this or not. Were you doing the vegan thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I was a vegan when it wasn't popular to be a vegan, and when nobody knew about it. It was back in like, I want to say 2009 was when I became a vegan, and I was vegan for 2 years, and then, but I wasn't really on tour as much at that time. I was still building my musical career. So I still had, you know, day jobs at home. So I was able to buy my own groceries, prepare my own meals and everything. So it was easier for me to become a vegan. And I left veganism and became a pescatarian after I started being on tour again, because now eating out at restaurants, again, when I was a vegan, it wasn't popular. So there was no vegan options. There was no vegan restaurants. And what's so funny about that is that I had a couple of people come back when it became popular, you know, after the documentaries and all of these things. Bless our hearts. We can be sheep sometimes.
Yeah.
Amen. Praise the Lord. I'm going to move on past that. Okay. Because I may have triggered some people, but that's your work, not mine. So yes, when it was not popular and when I was vegan, people would always be like, well, what do you eat? So all you eat is grass and blah, blah, blah. They just gave me hell about it. Well, and
That's
also.
your cousin them that be saying that.
No, yes, for sure.
You know them cousin.
And uncles and aunts and
Yeah,
everything. But it was other people too. But and people were just not, didn't know anything about it, and we tend to argue for our limitations as humans. Whenever someone is doing something, excuse me, that was a gentle burp. Someone is doing something that we don't understand. We tend to like bash it so that we don't feel bad about, because let me tell you something. I was never somebody who was like, you should do this or you should do that. I was just living my life, making my own choices. And then when people were like, oh, so you don't eat meat? No, I don't. Well, why? Now, when I give my explanation, now you believe it's your time to argue with me, but we don't need to argue, because I didn't say that what you were doing was wrong, or I'm not trying to switch you over. I'm not trying to convert you. But what happens is we can see people's tenderness. We can see people's issues and insecurities when these types of things happen, because a lot of people would, just straight like, just going in, oh, well, that's stupid and this and that. Well, wait a minute, because I didn't say that what you're doing is stupid. We don't have to take it there. But what you can just say is that I'm not used to that. I'm used to something else, and I want to continue to be comfortable with what I'm doing. Right. So you can do what you're doing. I don't want to entertain that at all. But you don't need to bash it and defend your side of the story. I didn't ask. I don't care why you eat cow butt. I didn't ask. I didn't ask why you eat pig feet and pig intestine. I didn't ask because I don't care. It's your life and it's your body. Right? So interestingly enough, some of those same people that were giving me so much guff when I went vegan, years later now, when it becomes popular, you remember when you were vegan? I just wanted to get some advice, like tell me about, no, P, because you didn't have nothing for me. You didn't want it when I was in the midst of it, what my thing was, just go to that documentary that you looked at. They'll tell you what to do. And the thing is that they don't tell you fully what to do, because right. Being a vegan or choosing to do anything, you have to always do your research to find out, to make sure that you're still getting whatever nutrients you need from other things. Yeah. Because there are certain vitamins that you can only get from meat.
Yeah. Some people need that protein and that iron, and they need that boost, and they only, like you said, they only get it from that. And a lot of people.
And my thing is that that's fine if that's your choice, but there are other options for you to still get what you need. I'm not just out here throwing away things that my body needs and just picking up a bunch of other stuff. I did my research. So I was doing supplements, and I was making sure that still each vitamin and mineral that I needed, that I wasn't receiving from particular things, I still got. But we never got to get that far, because everybody is so like, oh, that's probably nasty. I need some real cheese. And I need, why you need.
I don't like vegan cheese.
Well, you know what? Most of them are pretty bad, TeaRon.
Yeah. I'll just go without. See, me, I'm not vegan, but I'll eat vegan because it's there. I'll share some.
Sometimes some stuff be good, baby.
Listen, they're like, who you want? I'm not allergic, thank you.
But that's part of the research too. Like, it took me a while to find. I did find some vegan cheese that I liked, but it took me some trial and error. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, that's a word. I receive it. I'm going to give it, God. I'm going to give it. A lot of times, I'm looking at your face. Don't do me. A lot of times we don't do things, or we don't want to experience new things or explore new things, because we don't understand that our desire to explore and to learn is the exact thing that's going to take us to the next level. And so what I mean when I say that is, nobody wanted to be vegan at the time that it wasn't popular to be vegan, because there was no easy, fast way for them to just get the information that they needed. You'd have to do some real research. And that is one of the issues with a lot of us humans today, and with the reason why growth is not happening as much or as quickly because people just want immediate gratification, and we only want to tap into things that are readily available, readily accessible to us, rather than take the time to go, you know what, this is something I'm interested in. So I'm going to dig in and I'm going to be the one to discover information about it and to discover how I feel about it and dig in. This is what causes people's growth to be stunted. And this is why we have to have sayings like, a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there, because comfort is where we like to stay. I mean, being comfortable is comfortable.
Yeah.
But now, you also do not advance past that.
Now, wait. With that quote, there's some gray area to it, and I'm going to tell you, because
I'm over you.
The way I'm comfortable, and man, listen, comfort had me grow in a lot of ways, especially during the quarantine and everything. I'm so fucking fat. The comfort food will have you grow. Uh-huh. It will grow in probably only a few places.
I'm tired of you. See, and this is why I don't play with you, because you just gonna take my words.
No, I received it. I just wanted to. That gray area came in, and I was like, let me share.
No, you're right, because I've had to be in the gym now to work off. So I said,
I'm scared to go 25
to the gym. Pounds later, I was like,
yo, I'm scared to go to the gym still.
Yeah, well,
I do a lot more working at home. You know what, y'all? And this is for those listening or whatever, but I want to share this with y'all. Remember back in the day, in the mid 90s, and we're back. Well, I think we're about the same age, you and I. Of course, I'm younger, but
okay, you just gonna go ahead and throw me under the bus. That's cool. Let me collect my things and dust off these dirty bus clothes.
Well, no, back in the day, they used to sell those workout tapes on VHS and stuff, and you had like Richard Simmons, and you had the Tybo era and all that stuff. Well, I was like, I said to myself, because I was like, I'm not paying for Beachbody subscription. I'm not paying for another subscription. I found Tybo beginner workout on YouTube. And here's what's so funny, guys. Here's what's so funny. This is what's so crazy, is that human bodies in the 90s are the same now. We don't have any extra toes or anything. So the workouts still work.
So it still works.
You're still gonna have pains, and you're still gonna feel it, and you're gonna feel the burn. It's bananas to me. And so I was like, I'm going to do this at home for free. Now listen. The beginner Tybo workout, the one that I found it initially, is like 20 minutes long. Right?
How many minutes?
20.
Okay.
Right. So it's like you do little 20-minute you do that little 20-minute workout, you get it in. It's basic Tybo. But he's speed shit up and shit. I've not yet gotten to the 10-minute mark of the 20.
Here's what I want to say. You are still great, man of God. You are a king and you are loved. That's what I want to first give you some encouragement to let you know that you're doing great. And now the next thing I'm going to say is, if you don't get your ass past them 10 minutes. Okay.
But you'll be so proud, because when I first did, I just jumped into it. I was like, I'm gonna find some shit for free. I ain't finna pay for this shit. So I got on there and I was like, oh, this and here's what got me: beginner workout, right? I was like, oh, well, I'm just beginning. So I got on there and he started out stretching, and they do their thing, they twist it, and they go down, they touch their toes. I can't reach my toes.
Okay.
So I should have known right then that the beginner, I need the pre-beginner workout for me. Shit.
The preschool workout?
Yeah, I need just the one.
I'm not going to do it.
But yeah, I did that, and yeah, I almost died. But I started out, I only did, the first time, I did about 8 minutes, and I stopped. I said, fuck this shit. And I went there and made a motherfucking sandwich. right? The second time
Why?
I built up. So I got to the 10-minute mark. So my next step is at least like 12. You know, I'm going to get through the whole thing one day.
You got to work your way up. That's okay. I believe in that. I believe in that. You know what else I believe in? I believe that anything that anyone is doing for the betterment of themselves, they should enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, then you won't want to do it as much. So when it comes to the gym and when it comes to certain workouts, I believe it's absolutely perfectly fine to choose things that interest you, that you can still get your body moving. You know what I mean? There's some people that just flat out do not like going to the gym, that do not like lifting weights, that do not like those kinds of things. And what I say to those people is that's okay. And you shouldn't do it if you don't like it, because you won't get the same benefits. And it's always better, and you're more likely to do it if you enjoy what you're doing. So there's more ways to work out than to just be somewhere lifting weights. Yeah. You can get full body workouts like any kind of way.
A lot of people like dance, or they do it naturally. They don't know that they are dancing.
Yes.
They don't know the stuff that you do that is second minded, like doing something like playing in the backyard, playing kickball, running around with the dog, whatever it is, stuff like that. If you just do it, you're just really in that moment. So you never even think of it as a workout. And I think that works best for people. It's just like getting up and moving.
Yeah, do what you love.
I have a very distinct goal. You do? I do. Like
I feel like that would bring me. No. I didn't mean with another person. I mean with a bag or something. Or just in the air.
I take stuff personally. I'd be like, I know we was sparring, but he hit me kind of hard, and I'm gonna go home with that. And so that shit sit on me. I'm not there yet.
You gonna come back with a trench coat and a gun?
No, I'm gonna come back with some brass knuckles or something. We still gonna throw, but you ain't gonna know I'm gonna have it wrapped. I'm gonna come back because you're not just gonna. No. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, that's not for you then. We got to find
not for me. I'm not there yet. Okay. But my goal, I have a distinct goal, is that as I roll into these 3 zeros, and you may not agree with this, but this is what it is. At some point, I wanna be a thirst trap.
You want to be a what? Did you say a thirst trap? Let me tell you something.
This has never been my. Wait now, I want to be an ain't shit nigga so bad.
You have to give me a moment to process what you just said to me.
I want to be. I want to cause problems in people's household, and I want to be sculpted enough that people can be dismissive of my ain't shit ways, like they was with Derrick Jaxn.
Oh,
now here's the thing. Here's the thing. I myself, I ain't foul. I ain't gonna be married and do it.
Amen. That's good. Good for you.
And all I want is the likes. I just want the dopamine. You ain't got to do shit else but like my shit.
Just like my post. That's all I need. Thanks for stopping by.
And I realize that I try stuff the other way already.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to be the guy that was like, I'm going to post art, I'm going to post quotes, I'm going to post memes. I tried all those things out, and I don't like the results of none of them. So next, I got to take my shit off. And the only way I'm gonna that means I really got to get way past 20 minutes of Sabo. And I'm trying to get them Derrick Jaxn whack them inflatable SpongeBob arms. I'm trying to get that shit going, because if I can achieve that, the doors open up. Then I can write me a motherfucking book and shit.
Are you gonna be done soon?
And if you want in on this trip, we could sell merch. Why would that girl not sell bonnets and shit? Holy, what the fuck?
Because you ruined my whole thing. That's what I'm sorry. Gonna say. When you was like Derrick Jaxn, the first thing that popped into my head was Bonnet. Wife, Bonnet. Cheating, Bonnet. I'm sorry, Bonnet. Buy my book. Bonnet.
Bonnet.
Holding hands with the tight grass. Bonnet.
Hey, if her body wasn't set up.
I gotta explain something to you. I'm not here to make anyone feel like less than. I'm not here to talk trash about anyone, but I just want to say, why did you not do something like just Bonnet? That's all I have to say.
They said it was like
after that.
They said it was like he just woke up and was like, "We finna do a video," and she just, you know how you be like,
First of all, for me, as the wife, we're not doing this video till I take this bonnet off and do something with my hair and put on some clothes. We got to do it now. No, I don't got to do it now.
What's so funny to me is the real reason that thing even blew up. Because let's be clear, motherfuckers is cheating every day.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't get
but they're not writing books about how to be good to a woman.
But here's what blew it out in the water is that women, specifically Black women, because a Black woman can set the tone in the mood, and that's what it's going to be. If it's going to be successful, it's because she said it is. And so that was his market, that was his audience, and they fell away. Because the way dudes are set up, we like, this is a simp. This dude, who says things like this? Like, there's always that one dude that's overly like, you shouldn't talk to a girl like that, man. You shouldn't even, stuff like that. Like, okay, for me,
I respect
this
it.
is now the views and opinions for me do not reflect.
Okay, you know what? Now that you're prefacing it with this, I feel like this applies directly to you.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. People say you shouldn't hit a woman, and I'm for that. But I know sisters that can fight. I know sisters that can throw. Okay, women I know that they throw them things. If I'm getting wailed on, I at least get one of these. I at least get one, right?
Yeah.
Where was I even going with that?
Wait, we were talking about Bonnet. That's the subject we were on was Bonnet.
So I don't even know how I got it into it, but I say that to say this. I don't even know now. That just fit me.
Wait,
I don't be trying to get canceled. I don't be trying to get canceled. But you know what?
Like matter of fact,
I was going somewhere, but I can't fucking remember because I had to do a disclaimer. That's another thing. I'm trying to get funding. I'm trying to get some sponsorship, some donations.
Donation. I thought it was trash.
But I'm trying to get all this stuff, and actually, I just realized y'all can't even cancel me because y'all don't even support me like you need to yet. You can support me, you can cancel me. But anyhow,
come on.
So oh no, I was saying that, dudes be like, don't do that, don't talk to a girl like that, or and that's people that do that most times are just trying to play a part to appeal to a woman enough to get near enough.
Absolutely. Near enough to knock her teeth back through her neck.
Yeah. A lot of people who are the most outspoken are the most publicly against, basic things that are, whatever. Or they're very, final in their like stance, and they're like, this is how it should be. This is what it is. This is how a relationship works. Whatever it is. It's like, that you gotta be careful.
You don't get to make that. Yeah.
You gotta be careful with that. People who don't have variance, okay, gray area, or you got to steer clear from them because something ain't right there. And I personally think there's different kinds of people on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, the most annoying people on social media are the ones who are trying to quote and motivate you every post. Every time you get up, they be like, "Good morning. We're gonna make this money motivational Monday." I'm like, leave me alone. because that's not real.
No, like honestly,
That's not real. And honestly, I ain't never seen a post or seen somebody post something so much so that I've been moved to say, I agree, or hell yeah, I'm gonna go to work. I ain't never.
I'm gonna go to work.
And what you got to realize is when you look at most of the guys who fall into that category and they're popular on social media, I never heard of this Derrick Jaxn, who can't even spell the
before
name
this
that he was given right. Okay,
spell
it out. But anyhow, I never heard of him before that. You know what I mean?
I have.
I hadn't because see, that's how the algorithms work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it's gonna target you first as a Black woman who looks at certain things versus myself. I never heard of him ever, but I gathered enough within that whole fiasco to pick up what it was. But a lot of times, the people who get pushed and are writing books and they're posting these posts and they're getting endorsements or they're getting paid videos and all that stuff. A lot of times that's coupled up with how they look.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
99% of the time. It's never really, unless they just have a big, huge personality, it's never really someone who isn't a stereotypical looker. And that's a dangerous area because at that point, you're going to deal with someone who is looking for self-gratification or who's going to have an ego. Because why also for his marriage, how many women were actually in his DM or lusting after his flesh?
And that's what I thought about too. A lot of the time, whenever he would post things, a
lot of women would be felt like they were in a relationship with him, or they felt like he was an ideal, catch.
Absolutely.
So that's why it was so blown up. What do you think? What was your whole takeaway from it on a serious level?
Well, it always was a little strange to me that he would be posting all of these things. Also, he does a lot of side-by-side videos where someone will post something and then he will pour out his opinion about it.
React.
And it's usually him talking trash about what somebody else is doing. That was his thing a lot.
Narcissist.
Or so he would be like, he would post a video of somebody making a statement or something happening and then proceed to go into what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this person? Okay, so this is why he did a lot of those videos.
I don't like it.
Which now makes sense though, because there was a lot of projecting going on. I think about a video that he posted about a Christian couple, and I can't remember the names because, like I mentioned to you before, I'm not really into pop culture like that because other people's business is not my business. And if I spend too much of my time worrying about what other people are doing, then I won't get the shit done that I need to get done. So I don't really care. Yeah. So, but there was a couple, and this particular couple, the woman had stuck by this dude's side, like at his worst. Like he was cheating on her. He was not doing right by her, but she hung in there. And then he married her. Now, I have my views on that. First of all, we live in a society that celebrates trauma. Who can endure the most trauma? That's the realest relationship. No, that's toxic and it's bullshit. And we need to stop telling people that. Because if you're doing me wrong, then I'm not going to be here. And that's point blank. And if you feel like what makes me valuable is to stick with you while you treat me like shit and be a trash ass person, then I'm not the person for you. And we need to stop telling people that this is what makes good relationships.
When vows come up, that's not what the thick and thin is talking about. The thick and thin ain't shit that you caused, that you expect somebody to stay around for because you took a vow. The thick and thin is the shit that just comes naturally in life.
Right.
Not shit that you are going out and bringing in and causing problems. Like, no, we're not doing that. There's
if you're treating me like trash, it's a no for me. Period.
It's a no for me, dog.
So that was the video that stood out to me the most after this whole thing exploded with him. I remember him doing a side-by-side of that video and talking about how that particular woman should not have stayed with him during all this stuff. And here you are 2 years later and all your shit has hit the fan, but you want your wife to stand by you.
Stand by your man.
I'm not going to stand by him if he don't got no legs. I'm just saying.
So, Tamika, I'm going to stop you right there real quick because I think this is going to be a two-parter.
Yeah.
I think we have to hold off here, let the people breathe for a second, and we're going to come back here and we're going to finish it up because we're going over a lot of shit here. So I want to give the people a chance to absorb and receive what we went over so far. So we'll see you all we'll see you next week.
Yeah, next week. See you next week.
We like to sign out on the show, and I always like to let you know that whether you are Black in Austin, Texas,
or whether you are Black in St. Louis, Missouri,
remember, we are Black everywhere.
It's the latency with the.
I like it. I like it.